After falling into a pit and waking up and finding a strange portal, I jump in and find myself stranded in this dry, dangerous desert. This is Minecraft Secrets of the Sands. I started off my adventure by breaking some bushes and I ended up getting a deadwood stick. The only tree I found was this dead looking tree, so I decided to start breaking it. This was the only tree in sight and things were gonna get bad if I didn't find food and more trees soon. Nevertheless, I continued to collect more deadwood and started off by creating a crafting bench. I had a feeling enemies were gonna close in soon, so I had to get tools as fast as I possibly could. I used the deadwood to make a wooden pickaxe and it turned out to be just a regular wooden pickaxe. I picked up this sand which turned out to be called strange sand, and I wanted to go looking for more stone so I could get stone tools, but so far I couldn't see any stone. It was all sand. After breaking another piece of deadwood, my first enemy came across my path. This weird tree mite thing spawned and started attacking me, but that was the least of my worries. I turned and there were enemies closing in right on me. I had to get out of there fast. I didn't like how quickly they found me. After running away for a bit, I found my first structure, and I found a little dead forest on the other side. I wasn't gonna have much time to explore it though because I already saw enemies closing in. I got an achievement for getting close to the ruins. I found a spawner on the inside, but I didn't see any signs of chests or loot anywhere. I decided to just break the spawner just in case any other mobs spawned. I heard noises coming right behind me, and I turned around and there were enemies right on my tail. They had iron swords and shields, and I didn't have any sort of weapon to fight them. I went a little further and I found a different type of ruin. I figured I had time to check out what sort of material this ruin was made out of. It looked like stone, and I needed stone to craft stone tools. I broke it and I got limestone bricks. But I was pretty certain that the bricks wouldn't allow me to craft stone tools. I needed regular limestone. But after exploring the ruin for a bit, something caught my attention. It was a different looking block. When I started breaking it, it dropped loot. It must have been a chest of some sort because I got feathers and this cloth scrap. It turns out I had broken a deadwood crate. I realized my only hope now was to go looking for more crates and just collect the loot. After exploring a bit more, I came across a camel, and I could ride it, but I needed to tame it first. Unfortunately, I didn't have much time because I saw enemies closing in. What I was hoping for is that I could tame it before the enemies got to me so I could ride away. Unfortunately, the luck wasn't in my favor and I had to fight to defend myself. The wooden pickaxe was all I had, but it ended up doing the job. After defeating my first enemy, I got an achievement called Kill or Be Killed. I went back over to test my luck with the camel. Unfortunately, I think the fight I just had attracted other enemies because I didn't have much time before more started closing in. At the last second, I tamed the camel, but I couldn't ride it. I must have needed a saddle, so I had to get out of there. One day, I would come back though. I found another ruin, and this time I got a crate and opened it. This time, there was leather and some interesting soil inside. I didn't have time to loot it though because there were enemies right on my tail. I grabbed what I could, but completely forgot to grab the rotten flesh, which was really bad because I needed food desperately. I was hoping whatever soil I found could lead to growing food. The next ruin I came upon had a spawner and multiple crates. I broke the spawner before enemies could spawn, and I checked out the loot inside. After making sure the coast was clear, I opened the crate and I got a limestone axe, which did 9 attack damage but was very slow. I also got these strange seeds and a royal torch. In the other crate, there was just more torches, rotten flesh, but there was this iron desert wolf armor. I realized if I had a limestone axe, there must have been limestone deep underneath the ground. I decided to dig down, and sure enough, I hit limestone. I had no way of making armor, so the least I could do was upgrade to some limestone tools. But food was gonna be my biggest issue if I didn't figure it out soon. I got enough limestone for a limestone sword, which did 5 attack damage, and I got enough for a limestone pickaxe, but I heard enemies above, so I had to block myself in. After the coast was clear, I made my way back up, and in the distance, I saw the warriors that usually attack me fighting some other sort of enemy. That meant there were more types of enemies out in the desert. And after a few minutes, well, they were all on me, and things got bad when I ran out of sprint. I realized I had rotten flesh, so I had to resort to eating that. That was my only source of food at the time. I had this pile of fertile soil and I felt like that must have been the key to farming. I didn't know how it worked though. Things got dark fast and I found a mountain range, so I decided to hide out there until it became daylight. After waiting a few minutes, I came out of the cave and I found some sort of mummy creature. I took it down and it dropped rotten flesh and cloth scraps. I had a feeling the cloth could be used to make some sort of armor, so that was what I was gonna go for. I found a new type of ore, and I mined it and I got dirty bone blocks. These were gonna be very useful for making farms when I had a lot of bone meal. I found a limestone spike biome and I got this new ore which turned out to be coal ore, so now I had a source of fuel. I soon realized the only tree I mined was at the very beginning, and I was running very low on wood. I took down a few of these tree mites, and I got rid of this whole tree, which provided more than enough sticks. I decided to make a hoe and take my chance with farming, but so far, sand wasn't fertile and did not work for farming, so I needed something else to do. I didn't have any ideas though, because there were no animals around except for that one camel. I just knew these seeds led to food, but I didn't know how to plant them. An enemy snuck up on me and I took it down with my limestone sword. At least now I had a better chance of defending myself. After taking it down, the enemy dropped a banner and a shield. The banner was called the bandit banner, so at least now I knew I was fighting bandits. At this point, the more information I know, the better. I decided to engage in a bigger fight with more enemies. I was hoping one of these enemies could drop loot that would benefit me in some sort of way. Fortunately, one of them dropped some sort of iron sword. I picked it up and it was called an iron scimitar. It did +6 attack damage, which was better than my limestone sword. I used my new scimitar to finish off the last of the enemies. Still though, other than a sword, I had no food. I found a new type of archer, but fortunately the archers were weak and only took 2 hits to take down. After clearing out all of the enemies, I got to open this crate, and I got a few more pieces of leather, which was pretty good. I realized I needed protection. I decided to test out something. I grabbed the scrap, and I made a mummy helmet. When I put it on, it wasn't very useful at all. Definitely not worth not seeing, but at least I knew how to make some sort of armor. My luck was running out very badly because I had no more rotten flesh left and I had no sprint. If I didn't find any more enemies soon, this was gonna be the end of me. But soon enough, I found a sign of hope. It was a different type of tree with leaves. Maybe this biome had some sort of water or grass in it. Then I could start farming and create some food for myself. All I knew is that I had to think of something fast or I was gonna die in this desert.